Well, hello, welcome to Beyonce's Side of the Internet, and I'm Sharonda. And during this video, of course, I'll be talking about more books. So let's get into this thing, shall we? So, during this video, I'll be talking about a series by author Unoma, and I'm so sorry if I'm going to pronounce your last name wrong, but my apologies. Unoma Nwankwor. Okay, this is her the Billionaire Pact series. It's a three-book series. These are short books, sweet romances, but they were cute. I had fun reading these books. So the first book is okay. So let me go a little bit further. The Billionaire Pact series. This is a black romance series. Also, this is diaspora series between black peoples. We have black American men with African or African American women. Okay. Um, what else I want to say? So the gist of the series is you have these three dudes, two brothers, and then one that became a brother to them that grew up in a foster care system, and they made a pact. All three of these guys, they made a pact to, basically never leave the other one behind. It's like once one became rich billionaires, then they all became rich billionaires, right? So we have the series where these three find the love of their lives. So let's get into the first book, right? So the first book is Vegas Nights, and this is bear with me, y'all. This is Darius and Sophia's story. Okay, so Darius and Sophia have, both have issues with relationships, love, all that jazz that generally goes on in these romance novels, right? And they both don't want to be, they both have made like the decision, not to get caught up or whatever. It's just basically just gonna meet someone, have a little fun, and all that other stuff. So Sophia is basically like, she had her heart broken. She had a fiance that cheated on her and stuff like that. So she's like, off at the neck with most men at this point. So her friend invites her to Vegas with her, where she's doing an interview of Darius, who is, a billionaire, and he's going into this new endeavor or whatever. And her friend is like, come with me, and at least take a vacation because Sophia is also taking care of her father as well. So it's like stresses, everyday work, bills piling up because dad is sick. Her friend like, bitch, you need a break. Let's go. Right. So they go to Vegas, and I loved her friend because her friend was really trying to get Sophia like to hook up with Darius. Like, because when Darius first saw Sophia, he was like, "Ooh, okay, yeah, I want to meet her." After he had the interview with her friend, he was like, "I want to meet your friend. I'm gonna invite y'all to this party. Generally I don't invite the media and stuff like that, but since your friend with you, girl, I'm gonna hook you up, but make sure you bring your girl." So she like, "Oh, okay, let's do this," right? So Sophia is initially just like, "I ain't come here for all that." Da, 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 da. My friend was like, "Girl, it's not even that serious." You know what I'm saying? If y'all have a one night stand, which they end up doing anyway, y'all have a one night stand. You're here to have some fun, to relax. Remember, that's what you're here for. So initially, like I said, Sophia is perturbed, right? But she eventually goes on, she goes to the party with her friend, and her and Darius end up talking and liking each other. Because I'm telling you, Sophia was giving him the stink face in the beginning. She was like, no. But once they got to the party, they start talking. They realize they got some things in common, shit like that. So they go out for the night, and they end up having a one night stand. But child, wake up the next morning and okay. So these are short stories, so I don't want to give too much. So they end up having a one night stand, and then it's Vegas. So just imagine what else can happen while they're in Vegas, and this sends Sophia into a panic because she don't want to be like, especially with Darius being this billionaire and stuff like that. And she just don't want to get caught up in all the media attention and stuff like that. So she's just like, we got to handle this. You got to do something. But Darius' brother comes in and is just like, now listen, I know this may hadn't, been like a little thing. Y'all was drunk, y'all was out partying and stuff like that. But just think of what this is going to do to your reputation and stuff like that. Try to convince her to stay in it a little bit longer. So then we go into this marriage of convenience phase between Darius and Sophia. And for the most part, it works. Okay. For the most part, I enjoyed this book. I thought it was a cute, quick little read. The majority of the books are no longer than 100 pages. Okay. These are quick, short, sweet romances, right? Um, I had an issue with this book because I feel like the author herself was doing so good with everything, right? And then, like towards the end of the book, we have all these issues popping up between Darius and Sophia, and I just feel like towards the end they were both doing like way too much. I just wanted them to be like, listen, y'all already in it to win it. Just go with the flow. That's just me, you know what I'm saying? But I had one of my best book besties, Tama, tell me. She told me, she was like, Shanonda, it's emotions. Da, da, da. I got it, but I ain't like it. But she convinced me that I was in my head too much. I was doing too much as far as Darius and Sophia having all these issues pop up towards the end of the story, and I was just like, okay, maybe I can agree to some extent. But child, when I tell you they was working my damn nerves, they was working my damn nerves because I was like, if y'all don't get it together by the time this book ends, I'm gonna be real pissed. But for the most part, I did enjoy this story. I thought it was cute. I thought that Darius and Sophia had real good energy on page. I like that they, once the walls were down and stuff like that, especially with them dealing, with their separate heartbreaks and stuff like that. And then, with Darius being kind of like wary of, people being after him, especially women, with about his money and stuff like that. And then, with him and his brothers growing up in a foster care, they kind of like hard on love, y'all. They just like, nah, I'm just gonna sit over here with my money. I'm just gonna roll in the bed with my money. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. But for the most part, I liked the first book. I thought it was cute. Okay. Towards the end, got on my nerves because I swear to God, I wanted to fight both of them. But we get our happily ever after, and there. So, I know I didn't say it in the end, but as y'all know, I got images on the side of me. So, yeah. So, into the next book, right? Oh, so, the next book is Second Shot. I actually enjoyed this. This was sweet too, but it was so messy. And I don't know. I just enjoyed the mess. I really, really did. So, in this book, we have we have Hakeem and Mariama, who were hooked up in college, like love each other, stuff like that. But as these brothers were building their wealth and stuff like that, Hakeem, who had a case of the cold motherfucking feet, like his toes was freezing, right? In my opinion, he let his brothers convince him into, because once him and Mariama decided that they were going to, be together after college. Like once they college graduate, everything, it was just gonna be them two. But he got cold feet, and then he let his brothers, we made this pact. We ain't got time, we ain't really got time for women. Like we know you love Mariama and all that other stuff, but you got So he let his brothers convince him to not go any further in a relationship. Not go any further, but for them to take a break from one another after they graduated and stuff like that. So Mariama automatically took that as, oh, you don't want to be bothered no more. Okay, I'm just gonna go on about my business. So she just up and left, and we also have secret baby trope inside of this book, which I was just like, I was annoyed at, but because I'm just not a fan of the secret baby trope. I really am not. It's just like, and I feel like in this story, Mariama was given way too many excuses as to why she couldn't tell Hakeem about his son. But anyway, so they end up breaking up after college. He builds his wealth. She's doing her thing on her side, but she has this baby. And because her family is originally from Africa, she decided to go back to Africa for like 3 years. Then she came back after she had the baby, and she made it her mission. She was like, I'm gonna find Hakeem and tell him, but some other shit popped up. She let it get in her head, And at the end of it all, it's like, y'all, it's like 7 years later, and she tell this man that he had a son. I think it was like 5, 7, whatever. It was like 5, 7 years later. She tell this man about his son. So I was like, oh my god. So they finally meet again. Some years later, where he is about to go on this business venture, and her company is actually like, she does like this assistant type services where they go in and help these executives and stuff like that, executive assistant type services. And one of the assistants called out, ain't show up. They was trying to call, bitch, she ain't answer. I was like, what's it, girl, where you at? So anyway, Mariama ended up taking on the job because it was one of her top clients, so she didn't want to fuck that gig up. So that's where she run into Hakeem again, and she like, I know the fuck. She sitting in there doing her job and stuff, and she hear a voice, and she was like, I know the fuck. And sure enough, it's Hakeem. So Hakeem see her, and he like, oh, bitch, where you been? He pissed because he's like, I said we can take a break. I ain't tell you to leave, girl. I ain't say leave. I just wanted us to take a break. But so they both kind of like pissed at each other because she got her issues going on with him, and he got her issues going on with her. And child, it was a mess. I like the messiness inside of this book. I don't even know why. I guess I was just in the mood for a messy type read. But I'm telling y'all, this shit was messy because throughout this read, she's going through the motions. Should I tell him about the son? Like, he convinces her to like come. Like he was playing games because he wanted her back, right? So he made up this thing where he needed an executive assistant, and he wanted her. Not that she has a whole company full of executive assistants. He was like, no, I want you to do it. I'm about to go into this other business venture and stuff like that. They end up traveling to Africa, which is one of the things I loved about the series. Like the jet setting between the couples, between the Americas and Africa was just, oh, it was so good. I loved it. She just flowed so really well with that aspect. But anyway, so Hakeem makes up this story to get Mariama to be his executive assistant while he tried to broker this new deal or whatever. So she said, you know what, fine, whatever. I'm going to do it. Plus, she's trying to get her business more on the map. So she was like, you know what, this will make me da-da-da-da. She used that. I thought she used that as an excuse, too. Because I was like, girl, now, you want that man. Just go ahead and get that man. You know what I'm saying? But anyway. So she goes with him. So they hook up and stuff while they supposed to be, having this so-called deal. Girl, why she was getting on my nerves because she was playing games. She refused to tell this man about his son all this time. They in this other country for like 3 weeks or whatever. She ain't never tell this man about his son, sleeping, sucking on him, all this other stuff. Ain't tell this man about his son. I was like, girl, he gonna be pissed. But okay. So she don't tell him. And child, they find out like, he like, I love you, want to be with you. And she's like, okay. And I feel like there were times that she was trying to tell him, but he would just, situations kept popping up. I'm going to tell you right now, this author is very good at making shit pop up during these stories when these couples have to tell each other something. Shit was automatically popping up. I was getting frustrated. I was like, no, damn it, what the hell? But anyway, so, Hakeem ended up finding out about the son. Now, I was pissed at Mariana during most of this read because I was like, girl, just tell this man about his son. Well, anyway, they end up finding out in the most craziest of ways because the son ends up hurting himself. They got to fly back, to her parents' place back in, I think they were in Georgia, something like that, Georgia, and Hakeem is pissed. He was like, we was in you all the time, rightfully so. He was in his feelings. It was okay for him to be upset, right? But why he start bullying this lady? Why he start bullying this lady? I was so pissed. I was like, he was just being mean on purpose, and he was just a big old bully, a big-headed ass bully. I couldn't stand him. And he was just so mean to her. Like, once he found out, oh, you coming back to New York with me, and you ain't gonna keep me from my son. Just all this unnecessary. Anyway, so Mariama, I keep saying Mariana, but that's not it. It's Mariama. And she was just like, you know what? I fucked up. I dropped the bag. I'm just let him have his way for now. and she ends up moving. Now, mind you, her whole business is in Georgia, but this man pretty much forces her, and because she has this whole thing of guilt, forces her to move back to New York with him. So she does it, and while she's there, he treating her like trash. Okay, it was terrible. I was just like, dude, you like, I get you mad, but you're doing too much right now, right? That's why he was doing too much. All in all, I ended up rating this one a 4 because I love the messiness of it all. And even though I am not a huge fan of the secret baby trope, I just like the messiness of him finding out and then her keeping a secret for as long as they was away on this thing. So I actually ended up enjoying Hakeem's book more than the first book. It was just so much. It was just so sweet and messy, and I loved it. And then we get to the end when Marion, she's like, "Bitch, I ain't gonna keep putting up with you bullying me and all this other stuff." And she has it where he has to eventually like fight to get her back without bullying her and shit like that, because he was a bully. He was the bully of the brothers or whatever, but he was the oldest one, so I guess that's the thing. I don't know, but you know this was a cute, sweet, messy read, heavy on the messiness. So I really did enjoy that aspect of it. Then we get to the last book, which is Pretend Bay. Okay, Pretend Bay is the Baby Brothers book, and this is between Brice and Imani. Okay, so another situation. Brice and Imani knew each other. They've been best friends since like 10th grade and shit like that. And eventually this grows into where these two fools are basically in love with each other, but ignoring it. Imani is the first one to express her love while they were in college, but of course Brice, being an asshole and being another one with fucking frigid feet, um, decides to like break her heart. And then he was just wilding in these damn streets. Okay, and he ended up hooking up with like one of her arch enemies and all this other stuff. So it was another mess. Okay, so pinpoint into present times, they still best friends. They had that one issue while they were in school, and they decided, what, we're just gonna be friends. No more sexual interactions between us because it's gonna ruin this good friendship that we have. So past, present now. Everybody knows Imani is in love with Darius. Darius just being an old dum dum with the blinders on, and we have one friend inside of this book. Her friend was like, "You are out of control. Both of y'all out of control. Like y'all out here wilding." But anyway, so Darius decides to go into this wine. He wants to go into the winery business and stuff like that, and he wants to do it without the help of his brothers and stuff. It's just something he wants to do on his own, and he convinces Imani to help him out. Like she's like into marketing and stuff like that. So he invites her. This is another one where they are traveling between the States and Africa. I mean, through the whole series they are. But he convinces her to come to Africa with him, where he can, buy this winery. Because the thing is, he can buy it, but the owner or the previous owner of the winery made it where it has to be. Whoever buys the winery has to be a family man. So in comes the Pretend Babe. He asks Imani to be his pretend fiance while they go travel, while he tries to buy this business or whatever. And, her friends are warning him, especially her friend Nicole. Her friend Nicole was like, "Girl, don't do it." You know what I'm saying? But she like, "I got to help him," all this other stuff. And his brothers are like, "You wildin'. Like, you want to be with this lady, be with this lady. Stop playing games with her, whatever." So they pretty much have people on both their sides telling them to be careful as they do it. So they're supposed to be there for like 8 weeks and stuff. And Imani is trying to be on her P's and Q's because she's not trying to get caught up in Brice and his bullshit. Brice, during this trip, realized he's in love with Imani, and he want to be with her and all this other stuff. And he's putting on all the flares, girl. He's but it's always the issue of these dudes saying they look, they showing you the love, which is a good thing, but they ain't telling it, right? So this is the issue with Imani. Like, you showing me all these things, but you're not telling me you are in love with me. There's a difference. We've been friends since 10th grade. So yeah, I love you. You love me. But, what is this? You need to tell me you're in love with me. You know what I mean? And that was Imani's issue with um, Brice as. Okay, I love this one. I think that out of the three books, this one was like very cute and very funny. I love the friendship between Brice and Amani. I thought they just had a really like the way they were able to like talk to each other and then rag on each other was really really good. I think they got on my they no, I don't think they got on my nerves playing around with the emotions and stuff like that. Like he really did not think he had to tell this lady that he was in love with her. He just automatically thinks she should have known. And it's like, why y'all think women are mind readers? Like, what is that all about? But but in this book we do get a happily ever after. It was good. I think we see only one of the brothers appear inside of this book, which is like in the first book we didn't see Brice as much. You know what I mean? But you see some interactions of the brothers throughout their their prospective books or whatever. But I like this one too. I thought this was a really really cute sweet read. I like the energy of Imani and Brice on page. Yeah, I thought it was cute. You know what I'm saying? It was just very frustrating to read them going back and forth about each other to like family members and stuff like that, and then it was just like y'all, why y'all can't get this together? Like, what's tea? But it was a cute read. So all in all, I would rate this series as a whole 5. I enjoyed the series. I thought it was cute. I love the aspect of the series about these three brothers that grew up in a foster care and made this pact that if one of us make it, we all gonna make it. You know what I mean? Like nobody gets left behind, and I love that. And I also just love the dynamics of the diaspora romance, right, between black peoples. You know what I mean? We have, like I said, we have Black American men, and then we have African American women. And I say African because these women came into the States when they were children. They grew up in America and stuff like that, but they were always jet setting back between their home countries and Africa and America. So yeah, African American. I love that. I think we need more. If we're gonna do multicultural romance, if that's what you want to call it, and stuff like that, I like the idea of just reading more diaspora romances between black peoples. You know what I mean? Like black Cuban people, black Americans, African Cubans, black, African people, cute black Cubans. Like I like that idea. Like we need more of that. But as a whole, I really did enjoy the series. Like I say, each book is no more than 100 pages. Very cute, quick series. There's gonna be some frustration because she really does put like most of the drama towards like the end of the book. But I feel like because these are really kind of like novelette length books, then yeah, it makes sense. But I tell you, child, it was frustrating. But all in all, enjoyed the series. And if you're looking for some cute, sweet romances, then definitely check out the Billionaire Pact series by Unoma Nwankwor. And until the next one, later days. Bye.